Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns, so liquid air on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, good people? We are back. We are back. Happy Wednesday to you. Bringing content every day to this draft comes down. We are less than 24 hours away. We are 23.9, 23 hours, 24 minutes away. Starts at 8 p.m. Me and Tone are gonna do a live watch tomorrow together. So tune in for that. We're gonna get started at 7:30. So yeah, we ready to go, man. Enough of the questions, enough of the all of the subterfuge and everybody throwing stuff back there, all of the anonymous content comments and stuff like that. I hate to see that. I saw the stuff. It's not new. I saw it before, but the comments made by somebody about Shedeur Sanders. I'm like, man, put your name on it and stand on it. If you're gonna say it, don't hide behind something. That makes people think that it's suspect. If you're gonna say something like that, put your name on it. Stand on it. Hi, your Bart Scott voice. Bart Scott irritates me sometimes. Sometimes I can get with what his opinion is, and other times I'm like, dude, you so off base. But I mean, you can say that with anybody. So, a lot of stuff going on, man. I saw you see my board in the back. Kirby Joseph, highest paid safety with a 4-year, $86 million extension. Our cornerback costs, Quinyon and Coop, that price just keeps going up, man. That price just keeps going up. So they are reestablishing the market every other week. So I don't know how they look at maybe cornerbacks and safeties. Are they putting them kind of like in the same class? I don't know. But he got paid. I ain't mad at him. He definitely got paid. So 4-year, $86 million contract extension on Wednesday. That will make him the highest paid safety in NFL history. I know it was history. 21.5 million annual salary and his 86 million total value each exceed the previous highs of Tampa Bay Buccaneers safety Antoine Winfield Jr. at 84.1. So he's getting 21.5 a year. Damn, he was set to make 3.6 and he jumped up to 21. Woof. Talking about a raise. Did he get a doesn't say a signing bonus or anything like that? Damn, that's a whole lot of money, though. That's a whole lot of money. Mike, we're gonna get to that in a minute. We're gonna get to that in a minute. I did a couple of mocks right before I started. I'm gonna do another one with PFN. I'll let you guys do that with me. But yeah, my latest mock. I mean, we got Walter Nolan. We got the edge from Ohio State. Tui Maloau. We got Harold Fannin Jr. Although I wanted Terrence Ferguson, somebody reached up and got Terrence Ferguson before I could get him, so I had to settle for Harold Fannin. And I like Harold Fannin, but I want the size and the strength of Terrence Ferguson because I need a tight end that can block. And I don't know if Harold Fannin Jr. can block. I know he's a fantastic receiver if they throw it to him. He was like the number one option at Bowling Green. He's not going to be that option in the pros. So I don't see him as a Jeremy Shockey, Shannon Sharp type, and Tony Gonzalez. The jury's still out, but so we got him. He was there. We got him. We got Jake Majors, guard from Texas. Then we got Malachi Moore was still on the board at 161, so I snatched him up. So, I thought we had a pretty decent draft. Barrett Carter, linebacker from Clemson, Isaac Tasla from Arkansas, and Miles Hinton, another offensive lineman from Michigan. So I was pretty happy with this draft. The fact that we got Walter Nolan, JT, and Harold Fannin, those are pretty good gets. Those are pretty good gets. Somewhere Gardner Johnson is feeling some kind of way. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong with that one. But he wasn't gonna get that type of money from the Eagles. So he better be happy that he got the chip. That's all I can say. He better be happy that he got the chip. Because he and let me be honest with you, it ain't like he don't deserve it. I don't think he's arguably the best safety in football. But the way he played last year, heck, the way he played when we went to the bowl the first time, I would put him I would at least put him in top 10, maybe even top 5. So he earned that money. If this kid got $84 million, I can see CJ looking for, somewhere in the 50s. I can see that. And again, he earned it. It wasn't like he was chopped liver. He in his tenure in Philadelphia, CJ Gardner-Johnson won some games for us. I feel comfortable saying that. His play won some games for us. So obviously there were some things. I think there were some things going on behind the scenes. Maybe the attitude and the, aggressive personality and stuff like that. Maybe it was a lot more people in the locker room that didn't care for that. I don't know. It seemed like he really became a leader this past season. If he really became a leader on that team this past season. So, I say it all the time, man. It's a lot of stuff that goes on in that locker room. That dynamic is fluid. It is always moving and always changing. And all of the people that report on what they think is going on in the locker room usually are wrong. So, Mike asked me, am I going live during the draft? Absolutely. Me and Tone will be live tomorrow beginning at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. Tone and Marcus will be live with our draft live watch. So, yes, tune in. Tune in, become a member, subscribe, hit them super chats, all that type of good stuff. So me and Tone was hooking up during the last season. We would do a pregame show, and then we just kept it going and just turned it into an off-season show. And we're going to pick it right back up, man. So love talking ball with Tone. And one also, just on a quick side note, one of the things that I am currently doing now, I can show you this. I'm good with showing you this right now. So I started a second channel because you guys know I do women's college basketball and I do WNBA. So I started another channel. It's called Pro Fan Hoops, and I currently have a whopping 15 subscribers. But what I'm doing is I'm going to spend the lion's share of the time on this channel on Pro Fan Talk. That is going to continue to be Eagles and trending topics. It's still going to involve basketball and stuff like that. But I am slowly but surely matriculating all of my basketball, women's basketball, and WNBA content to this channel. So I'm gonna have 2 channels, and I might do another one because I'm getting into some of you guys know I've been using After Effects and learning After Effects. Just got that software before I was using DaVinci. So I'm really getting trying to get myself comfortable with learning how to use After Effects and doing some graphics and things of that nature. So I got some stuff in the works. Still doing some training, but I got some good ideas on what I want to do. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This season, I'm gonna do a lot more um, film breakdowns, and I'm gonna be a lot more in depth where I can draw on the map and draw on arrows and highlights and some special effects and stuff like that. I really love that presentation. So I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna do that a little bit when the WNBA starts. So be looking for it, man. I got some good stuff coming. So just want to let y'all know that ProFan Hoops is live. Not too much on it. I don't have too many videos on it, but slowly I'm just moving stuff from ProFan Talk, all the basketball stuff from ProFan Talk. I'm literally copying it to this one. I'm gonna keep it on ProFan Talk, but it's going over here too. And then eventually, most of the stuff on ProFan Talk is going to be football and some other stuff. And then this is going to be strictly basketball. So we moving and shaking. We moving and shaking. Yeah, we need 7K, man. We need 7K. I'm still trying to listen. I still got my goal for 10K by my birthday. That's still my goal. My birthday is July 12th. So I still got a couple months to go. Still got a hell of a lot of work to do. That is my cloud goal. Might not make it, but hey, gotta reach for the stars, man. So we'll see what happens. So again, man, and y'all know me, I say this all the time. If you got some feedback, if you saw something on television, like, hey, Coach Marcus, you think you can do this? You think you can do that? Let me know. Let me know. So I appreciate it. Now I got 16. Appreciate it, Kev. Appreciate it. Gotta let them know. Gotta let them know, man. I appreciate that, bro. Growing and grinding, man. Growing and grinding. But I was looking up some more information. I don't know if if you heard of this in the chat, let me know. And by the way, I will drop the link in a little bit. I was looking at what happened because I did another mock today, and I ended up with James Pierce from Tennessee. And he's arguably the best edge on the board on the draft. But the last couple of days, the last week or so, I've been hearing about off the field issues, attitude, and I was like, I never heard that before. They didn't mention it at the combine. At least I don't remember seeing it. So I went back and did a little homework. So he was arrested for driving a car with no license or something like that. I don't know if he was driving fast, going 65 through a 35 or something like that. I read it, why he got arrested, and I was like, I can see that going a couple different directions. He's going 63 and a 35 in a vehicle with expired tags. So, and I'm guessing cops were probably pretty aggressive, didn't want to get out. I don't know. I don't know what the situation was, but he got arrested. Gave him a speeding ticket and driving on a suspended license. Okay. So to me, that's not a red flag. That's just a stupid decision by a kid. Happens all the time. Now here's the one where people are saying that he's got an attitude problem, maturity and willingness to be coached at the next level. I don't understand that. When people say that, you got to be very specific and you got to be careful what you say, especially whoever's writing all this stuff, whoever's putting this out there. So you mean to tell me that this kid, I'm looking at specifically juxtaposing that with somebody like Jalen Carter and the stuff Cliff had to go through to kind of reel him in certain times. And you got somebody like that on every team. That is not just for rookies. You got people like that are vets on every team. Some teams let them get away with it because you don't already paid them the money, so you're going to deal with it. And you have some situations where it just gets so toxic that you got to eat the money and just let them go. So you see both sides of that fence. But in this situation, they throwing out stuff. That's why all the people that listen to the BS about Jalen Carter, and you let that guy slip. You let the next Aaron Donald slip. Now I know all of the teams that passed up on him didn't necessarily need somebody on defense. So um, for some teams, I understand, but there were other teams that it was like, yo, you fell for the banana in the tailpipe, and that's the same thing that I see this year with James Pierce, with Shador Sanders. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. All them teams out there, y'all better do your homework. You better do your homework because nobody wants to be one of those teams that let Jalen Carter pass by. And now you see how good he is. And again, I keep saying this all the time. Just because they call you the smartest guy in the room does not mean that you are. And that's what a lot of these GMs are doing on a lot of these teams. They got a round table. Um, you know, I say this a lot. Like you look at all of these teams, all of these draft picks. Look at the last 20, 30 years. If you want to go back that far, there was the decisions that they make, because you got to look at teams like this team had a horrible draft. Why would you get that player when you know you need this player? And y'all let that player walk. You had him and you didn't draft him, and you different things like that. I always go back to when the Jets had a chance to get Warren Sapp, and they ended up getting a tight end, a Notre Dame tight end. Now times were a little bit different back then, but the demand was still the same. Your fans was going crazy. You needed a defensive tackle, and everybody knew Warren Sapp was the best player in the draft, without question. And they let him walk because they didn't do their homework. And back then, guys like Mel Kiper, I don't think Todd McShay was around yet. Todd McShay was probably still in college. But Kiper and people in the newspaper and on ESPN, they were the de facto opinion on anybody. If Mel Kiper said you suck, you suck, regardless of what your tape said. And you think I complain about nobody doing homework now? They definitely didn't do the homework back then. You had a select group of people that were scouts, and they would send out people, and they would send out people, and you get, 4 and 5 degrees of separation from the actual guy that does the study or that makes the decision. So you had back then, you had all these people sending in reports, mailing in reports and papers, and then of course when the internet hits in, you got, the email thing happening. But a lot of these people pulling the trigger really didn't do their homework. Now it's a lot easier to do the homework. So teams have to have a scouting department that is about their business. I should have called Willie T to get on here. Willie T, I played with T. If all my people in the chat, if you Philadelphia Eagles fans, you know who William Thomas is, number 51. Part of the 2020 club. 20 sacks and 20 interceptions as a linebacker, as an outside linebacker. But T's last 2 years in the league, he played for Gruden out with the Raiders. And when he got out of football, he ended up being a scout for the Raiders for a couple years. So, Jerome Brown's hometown. Matter of fact, I played. One of my teammates in college was from Apopka, Florida. Yep. I was very familiar with Apopka before I got to the Eagles. So, but yeah, Mike, just like with Rager. And the funny thing is, you can go back. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. You can go back, and I think it was on WIP when they called Mike Leach, the head coach at TCU, and they were asking him about Jalen Reagor and just the attitude that he had. And he was like he was trying to clean it up, but he couldn't. He was saying, I don't like this guy. I don't know why you drafted him. Good luck. It was very evident on an interview on WIP that he wasn't even campaigning for his player. He wasn't trying to campaign for his player. So I don't know if he just didn't like him, or I don't know what it was. But that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. Even as bad as Johnny Manziel turned out to be, and people knew Johnny Manziel was bad, they still campaigned for him. But Mike Leach, when I say Mike Leach threw Jalen Reagor under the bus, they threw him all the way under the bus, ran over him, backed up, and did it again. That was crazy. But yeah, real familiar with Apopka, Mike, and Dankberg game. You know what, Mike? I ain't gave out wrenches in a minute, man. I need to start giving out some more wrenches, dog. Start giving out wrenches. Usually, if you come on, when I drop the link and I get people to come on, I'll give wrenches because you see a lot of people in the chat have wrenches. And my thing is like, if you've been rocking with me for a while and you a member of my squad, I'll definitely give you a wrench, man, for sure. Do I need to go over Emmitt Smith again? Do I need to talk about him again? Did we talk about him yesterday? I think we did a little bit. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Dude, that's another. I'm gonna have to do a video about that, man. Carson Wentz. You brought up Carson, and I was like, damn, that just jogged some memories. I see you, Dankberg, with the WrestleMania, the WrestleMania glyph. I'm gonna have to do a video on what happened to Carson Wentz, man. That is crazy. The stuff that I had heard, and then with Doug Peterson getting fired, it was just weird, man. It was just weird. And then the video came out of him in the locker room after we won the Super Bowl, and he was kind of looking. He was kind of in the locker with his head down, and somebody had to come and shake him up. And then he realized the cameras was on him. Then he kind of woke up and then wanted to be celebratory, and it was like, it's too late now. We done caught you in your funk. So, NXT, okay. I know everybody's still buzzing about WrestleMania. He had a punt from Green Bay, absolutely. He had moments. He had moments. So, yeah, I remember that. And he ain't been the same since. He has not been the same since. It is my opinion, and this is just me. I don't have no proof. I didn't do a scientific study, but it is my opinion that after he took that Jadeveon Clowney hit, he was never the same. He was never the same. Mike, I am going to do a mock draft tonight. Yes. After Carson Wentz took that hit from Jadeveon Clowney, he was never the same. Knocked him out of the game. That was a hit to the back of the head. And to me, and again, this is my opinion, I could be 100% wrong. To me, he had the same situation like Antonio Brown. And I always use that example because Antonio Brown is probably the worst. I can't say worst because Andre Waters and Wes Hopkins were teammates of mine. And they're both no longer with us because of CTE. But having said that, the hit that Antonio Brown took from Vontaze Burfict in that game in Pittsburgh, I don't know if it's Pittsburgh or Cincinnati, I can't remember. But Vontaze Burfict laid him out. You can look it up. I'm sure you've seen it. And Antonio Brown was never the same after that hit. His personality changed. And I remember looking this up. I looked it up. And I found, if you look up, like right now, personality change after head trauma. And you see a lot of stuff with people with get in bad accidents, car accidents, and bump their head real hard or something like that, and their personality changes. So they're documented facts of that happening. And I think that's what happened to Antonio Brown and to a lesser extent, what happened to Carson Wentz. Because Carson was nasty. when he got to the Eagles. If Carson doesn't get hurt, he might win Rookie of the Year. He may have had a MVP type year. That Carson was that nasty. He was big, he could throw, he could run, he was strong. The boy was nasty. And then he took that hit and he was never the same. He has never been the same since he left Philadelphia. He has not been, not even close to the level he was at. Now, I know some of that's the scheme and coaches and stuff like that, but Carson had it. Carson was the pick. Howie Roseman knocked it out of the park with that. And then it was good until it wasn't. It was good until it wasn't. And everywhere he's been after that, he's not even looked close to what he used to be. Not even close. Even when he got to them other places and he started, it didn't look good. And again, Carson was good. Carson was good. Who hit Shannon Sharp recently? Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that. Shannon Sharp is some nasty business right now. He fighting though. I give him that. He fighting. He got receipts. He got receipts. So, but yeah, man. Carson Wentz was never the same. Antonio Brown still ain't the same. Still ain't the same. You don't know what you're gonna get out of that dude if you put a microphone in front of him. And he was one of the best to ever do it. I never thought I would see somebody in a worse situation than T.O. Meaning being as good as he is, but every time you talk to him, you never know what you're going to get. And in my opinion, some of the stuff that Antonio Brown did makes T.O. look like a choir boy by comparison. T.O. just annoyed people, but Antonio Brown took it to a whole nother level. Whole nother level. Man, listen. Y'all talking about Shannon, boy. Unc got some problems in his camp. But listen, man, he left himself wide open. He left himself wide open. You know, he had the incident, then he had the IG incident, and he want to mess with these freaky girls. And what makes it worse, you messing with freaky young girls. Shannon Sharp older than me. And you set yourself up. He set himself up. I hope he gets out of it. I hope his line of attack is working. I think it is. He done put out all of the nasty details of the text and all of that type of stuff. So he is fighting fire with fire, and he is on the attack. And I hope he clears his name. I don't think there's nothing to clear. It is quite obvious what she was after and what she was about. She was about that life. She was about that life. I've said this before. Even when I was in the league in the early 90s, an NFL locker room is not unlike anything else. Your locker room in college, your locker room in high school, your friend group in high school. You got so many different personalities on that team, and everybody doesn't vibe. Everybody doesn't get along. So you get cliques. You get these guys hang out with these guys. These guys are always ones out partying. They hit the strip clubs. That's that group. They are drinking and smoking and doing whatever. That's that group. Everybody knows who they are. Every team has a group. This group is quiet, but this guy, you always go over his house. He always got some ladies there. He always got some ladies there. And whether you know it or not, that might be them same ladies that was at the strip club working. There's people like that. So if that's what you into, you know who to hang with. You knew who to hang with if you wanted the steroids and if you was about that life. You know who to talk to. You know who to talk to if, you straight lace, you need to go to church with somebody, and every group's got every segment. So you know who to hang with. You know who to hang with. Shannon, he knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing. He got himself caught up. Got to be a little bit wiser than that. Shannon's problem is Shannon talk a good game, and he don't care who listening. And guess what? He can't give a grandmama meme what his granny told him in a situation like this. Granny didn't see this coming. Shoot. But like I said, he's on the attack, and he's trying to fight it. And you know, it's pretty clear what was going on. It's pretty clear that she making a money move. Like I said, it gets scandalous. Because think about it like this. I saw the news, and the girl, or I guess Shannon offered the girl 10 million, and now she's trying to sue for 50. But think about it like this. What was this girl doing? So what happens if she don't even get 10 million? What happens if she only gets one? That's still a come up from whatever it was she was doing. The girl ain't nothing but 20 years old. In some way, shape, or form, unless this girl go to jail, she gonna get some type of money in the bank. And if she don't, you know what she gonna do? She gonna be on TikTok, or start a podcast, or be OF or something. It's trending in that direction. This girl is gonna find a way to get that money, one way or the other. And now that her name is out there, this was worse than the Hawk Tour girl. So it's all about making that money. It's all about making that money. That Hawk Tour girl, she put out that Bitcoin or whatever that was, and she got out of the scene quick. She left the scene super fast. Mike, that's Captain Obvious, bro. But let me say this. Hold on for a second. Let me double check something. Let me double check something. Shannon Sharpe, I will be 55 in July. Shannon Sharpe is 56. He'll be 57 in June. What you gonna tell a 57-year-old man to do? How you gonna tell him what to do? And let me be honest with you, this is par for the course. I'm sure y'all can scroll down TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of it. It's some celebrity out there that's in their 40s, 50s, or 60s and got some 20, 30-year-old young thing on their arm. Men and or women. We don't even need to get into Belichick stuff again. He looked like an idiot, but Belichick don't care. He living his best life, I guess. But at the end of the day, you ain't gonna tell no 56-year-old man who we can and can't be with. And everybody talking about she young, she just a kid. That's a grown ass woman. No matter how you slice it, she 20 years old. That's a grown ass woman. That girl could be in somebody's army or in the military. She grown. She making grown folks decisions. When she made the decision to hook up with Shannon Sharpe, she knew exactly who he is. She knew exactly what he done, and she knew exactly what she wanted. And you can tell that from the text messages. She a grown woman making grown folks decisions. And Shannon ain't going out without a fight. Shannon one of them type of people like, nah, I ain't gonna let you tell it. I'm gonna tell it. And I'm gonna say it louder than you can. So yeah, she heard that cha-ching. Absolutely. Absolutely, she heard that cha-ching. But it's amazing how people these days, they still don't understand how electronics work, social media works. Everything you do, you leave a footprint. Every message you send, you leave a footprint. And people still doing this kind of crazy stuff. Like we can't pull back the messages you sent a couple months ago or whatever. And people in Shannon Sharpe's situation, they're gonna keep backups. Look at the guy at Notre Dame when they fired the coach at Notre Dame. So, I mean, stuff like that, it happens. Football and basketball. I'm sure it's happened a couple times in baseball and some other sports. But for whatever reason, football and baseball. Football and baseball. Listen, man, I hear what you're saying, 88s, but all of that shit goes out the door, bro, when you in that life. Shannon Sharp is in that Hollywood life. He on TV every day, so it's a different beast, man, and it's very difficult. And I don't want to say this trying to sound condescending, but you can't you can't compare being an owner to having a 9 to 5 job. It's two different things. That's the maybe that wasn't the best way to describe that, but this is us money. Everybody in a 9 to 5, and then Shannon Sharp and all of them people, their money is up here. So they operate in a different space. They operate in a different way. It just is. I used to tell people like this all the time when years ago, you eventually you get in the conversation, or people that I don't know really that well, and just in conversation, they found out I used to play in the league. I was a pro player. I did this. I was hanging out with Randall Cunningham. I can tell you the story when he cashed a $70,000 check, all of that stuff. And it would always be somebody who would inevitably say, if I made that type of money, this is what I would do. I would do this. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't give this money away. I wouldn't buy this. And I'm like, stop. Stop. Your mentality is different. Your headspace is different. As frugal as you think you may be, when you get that type of money, you operate differently. You have to. You have to. And even the people that don't, or they make you think they don't, they still operate in them spaces. They still operate in them spaces. They did the story on AJ Brown still driving his Honda. He grounded, he focused, and he was, and he is. Then he goes out and buys a Benz that gets stolen and all of the stuff that comes with that. But just the fact that it's all about the Honda and being grounded, and I won the Super Bowl, I'm going to get a Benz because I want to. Don't get it twisted. He still got that money, and you can still do what you want to do. Don't tell me that you gonna still buy, or you still gonna be driving around in that Honda Accord when you making 7 figures a year. You're not gonna do it. Even if you do, just like AJ, even if you driving a Honda Accord to work, you still got a Benz or a Bentley in the garage. You got something. You can still hop on a private jet. You got something. So the way you operate is differently. So it's hard to say he got to think different. You got to do different. This is what he's been doing. This is what he's been doing. You go back and you look at some of them old HBO Hard Knocks. I think one of the first ones with Shannon Sharp when he was in Baltimore, and Siragusa and all of them, Ray Lewis and all of them. Go watch them Hard Knocks. You can see what type of personality he got. He always the loudest in the room. He always want to laugh the loudest, even when people joking at him. You could tell he was always that dude. Probably could be a bit of a bully at times. That was his personality. So he's not gonna change nothing. It is what it is. This this dude had a live sex tape on Instagram and talked about it the next night on his show, and ended up getting a major endorsement from it. What else do you want? What else do you want? You will always have guys that just they about that life. It's just one of them things. It's weird. I still remember, and I tell this story a lot too. I remember the day I saw the article. I think it was about Julian Edelman when he was with the Patriots, and he was on vacation. He's not married. I don't know if he had a girlfriend or whatever, but he's not married. Just leave it at that. and he hooked up with some chick somewhere in Europe. And, you know, she stayed in the hotel room. They handled their business. And she took a selfie in the bed with him, and he was asleep. So he didn't know about it. And she posted it on MySpace or whatever it was at the time. And it got out. And I was like, wow. That just flipped the game right there. That was the beginning. That was the first time I ever saw somebody flip it. I don't even know if she meant to do it like that. She just wanted to show people, like, hey, she was just bragging. I'm with a pro player. You don't believe me? Here's a picture. And it wasn't salacious or what. He was asleep. It didn't show anything. It wasn't no nudity. It was just the fact that she did it. Now, again, they grown folks. He not married. I'm assuming she wasn't. So no harm, no foul. But she was the first one I ever saw put it out there like that. And that changed the game, literally. Changed the game. Because now people trying to get over, they could even the score a little bit. Especially with people that they want their information out. I remember when we went to the I was at the art museum in 2017 for the Eagles parade. And we down at the art museum, we had a room, we all together just chilling, all of that type of stuff. And I remember everybody knew that Marcus was the nerd dude because they knew I worked for Apple. Some of the guys used to come to the Apple store in Cherry Hill and see me, all of that stuff. So they knew I was that dude. And I remember we had to, all the guys, we had to get together. We had to stand up. What's your name? What's your position? When did you play? Who did you play with? That sort of thing. Just like an icebreaker. So you go all the way around. And I even said that, like, yeah, I'm the dude. I'm the nerd dude. I'm the guy with all the cameras and all that kind of stuff all the time. You know me, blah, 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 blah. And I had a guy come up immediately after we kind of broke up and was doing our own thing. I had a guy come up to me and say, hey, man, I'm glad you said that. Can you tell me, how is my wife always getting my text messages? Dude, like, you got me sweating. So, he had all this other stuff going on that he didn't want his wife to know. And I'm saying all that to say, it's people that operate in them circles. Shannon Sharpe operates in them circles, except Shannon Sharpe is one of those guys that he don't care. Like I said, Shannon Sharpe says, oh, you going to try to tell on me? I'm going to say it louder than you can. So he coming out swinging. Trevor Bauer, yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I knew there was a baseball name in it I was forgetting, but yeah, you're absolutely right. So, listen, man, this is what I say. Money only accents your personality. That's it. If you stingy and you got money, you'll be even more stingy. If you generous, you'll be even more generous. If you a freak, you'll be even a bigger freak. Money only accents your personality. If you somebody that likes to go skydiving, guess what you're gonna do with all that money? You're gonna buy a plane and skydive. It just accents what you already are. So high value men go after the young honeys. Man, I don't even like saying that word anymore. High value men. Kevin Samuels made up that shit. High value men. At the end of the day, you got good people and bad people. And you don't deal with people, you deal with personality. So you can have a good person and not get along with them because your personalities don't match. You got to get somebody that you got to it's got to be a yin and a yang. You got to be able to fit. You can't have two alpha personalities bumping heads. You can't have two soft personalities trying to get together because eventually somebody going to have to, somebody going to have the temper and somebody going to have a cool head. So it's one of them things, man. Yeah, Carlos, money just accents what's already there, bro. But yeah, Shannon, we're gonna be talking about this for a while. This ain't going nowhere. So, and guess what? Shannon ain't losing no money. They might have him off of ESPN or whatever. He might not be on with Stephen A. Smith, but Shannon Sharpe ain't missing no meals. And I guarantee you, I guarantee you, if you ever watch the Uncle Ocho show, anytime you got a podcast like that, that's what I'm trying to get to, man. Listen, when you got 21, 31, 41,000 people watching you live, you doing better than most television shows, most cable shows. You doing better than Stranger Things and Game of Thrones. When you put numbers like that, and you got people like that, 40 and 50,000, whatever it is, watching every night. The amount of money, Shannon Sharp printing money right now. He printing money. I'm just trying to, I'm still trying to get to the point where I can consistently have 100 people. The most I've ever done on a stream was I had like during the Olympics, I went live during the 100-meter men's finals. I went live. And I wasn't like I was showing it. It was me watching the meet on the television. And I had about almost 600 people tune in just live. And it is very hard to recreate that type of success. For whatever reason, everybody just tuned in to me. And yeah, I ended up going live for had to be like almost 2 hours. And then come to find out, it was a lot of people from Jamaica because the Jamaican dude was in the finals. I think Fred Curley was in the finals, but I'm saying all that to say it just to duplicate that type of success is very, very difficult. Very difficult. One of the things I'm learning on this YouTube journey is I'm really trying to develop like consistency and build that audience so I can bring people with me. So like when you hear me say I appreciate y'all for jumping back on with me, I appreciate y'all for jumping back on with me. Because I'm trying to get that what they call I'm trying to get that organic growth. Organic growth is slower, but it's more real. As opposed to somebody puts out a viral video and you get everybody look at that video, but don't nobody follow the channel. I'm building subscribers. You guys tune in every week. It's sometimes I don't even say I just turn the thing on and start podcasting and y'all show up. That's what I'm trying to build on. So I'm trying to get to the point where right now it's 20, 30 people online right now. I want to get that to 50, then get that to 100, then get that to 150, then 200, then 300. Then I'm trying to build it like that. So Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor? I don't even know who that is. Kevin stole the saying from Tommy Sotomayor. Who was Tommy Sotomayor? I don't know who that is. What do I think about the Eagles declining Dotson's fifth-year option? I don't think that's big of a deal. I wish they kind of would have kept him. But they probably gonna draft a receiver late, or they're gonna sign another free agent. They're gonna sign another free agent. Now, I think Dotson is a good player, and he was in the right spot. Whatever, regardless of what happened to him in Washington. He's not a scrub. He's a veteran receiver and can contribute, bringing up some of the young fellas and things of that nature, just being a leader in the locker room. He knows what his place is. He had his time. He made his money because he was a first draft pick for Washington, so he made his money. And he got his ring. That's the other thing. Jahan Dotson has done what hundreds of other veteran players do. Jahan Dotson got picked up by the right team. He had an opportunity to make it to the playoffs and play for a Super Bowl. And he came out with the hardware. And what makes it even better, he contributed. A little bit better throw by Jalen Hurts. That's a touchdown for Jahan Dotson. Not that I'm complaining, but you understand what I'm saying. You saw that play. Jalen Hurts throws that a foot higher, 12 inches higher. That's a touchdown. Or some people could say Jahan Dotson should have jumped in the end zone and not, you know. But anyways, so you know, it is what it is. I think we'll end up drafting somebody. Yeah, like Dak, no ring, don't ring Dak. But you know what that is, man. And you see, since you mentioned Dak, you see the all the stuff happening in Dallas. Now Micah Parsons is, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm not having a holdout. I'm having a hold in. And it's just like, man, Dallas, can y'all just shut the hell up and have a good draft? If y'all played as much as y'all talk, and I saw this coming. I saw this coming. I've been trying to find it, but I haven't found it. I think it's one of these things when I was still back with A2D radio back in the day, like 2, 3 years ago. Um, I remember talking about Micah Parsons his rookie year. And this was midway into the season, and he was playing well. And I remember saying, I got to find it somewhere. I remember saying, if Micah Parsons doesn't drink the Dallas Kool-Aid, if he just plays ball, maybe it was his second year, I don't know. But I said, if he just plays ball, if he doesn't drink that Dallas Kool-Aid, Dallas is going to be a problem because he's going to be the leader in the locker room. And this dude is wicked, wicked good. Very next year, he goes on the podcast with what's his name from the Buffalo Bills, Von Miller. He goes on his podcast, says what he says about the Eagles, and then it was all downhill from there. Then shortly thereafter, he started his podcast, and he was on every week, and it just gets he just got worse and worse. He got into his own he in his own solar system now. And I was like, they see down there, they drinking that Kool-Aid down there. And now when you got former players complaining about the culture down there, that's why I went off on the whole Emmitt Smith thing. I was like, man, all that time we had to hear how about them Cowboys 8 million times a freaking year, and now you mad because you got to hear "Go Birds"? Man, get the fuck out of here with that. Come on, man, you better than that, Emmitt. Take your medicine. Cowboys got to take their lumps, just like we took. Everybody was quick to remind us when we didn't have no championships. That was always the fallback. Yeah, y'all beat us, but holler at me when y'all win the Super Bowl. And like, what you gonna say? Might not even been what y'all was talking about, but they bring up that Super Bowl ring. They bring up the '90s, and it's like, listen, man, when your last championship, your last championship highlight tape is on VHS, bruh, stop. Ain't trying to hear that. Ain't trying to hear it. But they had no problem. They had no problem hitting us with that stuff. Every chance they get. How about them Cowboys? We them boys. And it like, dog, stop it. Stop it. And then he had the nerve to say, every decade we should be contending for a championship. Y'all didn't win shit in the 80s. The 80s, the 70s was the Pittsburgh Steelers era. Dallas snuck in with 2 in 72 and 78. Roger Staubach. But that was Pittsburgh's years. Pittsburgh won 4. The 80s was San Francisco. Joe Montana's years. Jerry Rice. They rolled the 80s. The 90s was Dallas. 90, was it 90? I think it was 90, 93, and 94. Dallas they were wrecking shop. And we couldn't say nothing, and we was pissed off about it. And now it's our turn. And now you bitching. Like, stop it, dog. Stop it. And normally, Emmitt Smith is very even-keeled. He understands what it is, and you know, I used to think he would keep it a buck because I remember when the Eagles played in 22 and they caught him walking somewhere, and somebody asked him like, "What do you say to the Cowboys fans talking about the Eagles?" He said, "Can't say nothing. Keep your mouth shut." It's like at least he can keep it a buck, and all of a sudden, just after a while, it just gets to him because somebody hit him with the Go Birds, and all of a sudden, well, where they going? Like, really, dude? Like, come on, man. You gonna be that petty? Don't get mad. Get better. That's what I say. Uh, last time the Cowgirls won a ring, I was in high school. Listen, I put a video out today. I was like, this is my rule. I wonder if I can find that. Hold on. I'm gonna try to find that and play it. Maybe I won't be able to. Might not be able to because I don't have a Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to. But I got a rule. If you are a Cowboys fans and you did not see Troy Emmett or Michael Irving play in person, and I'm not obviously not, you didn't have to go to a game, but did you watch them on TV when they were active players? If you didn't see them play, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you unless you were OG and you didn't seen all of this. You done seen Starback, Aikman. You done seen all of it. If you haven't seen none of them dudes play, you don't count. I don't want to. I don't want to hear from you. There is a statute of limitations because remember, you know, if you was an Eagles fan, you couldn't say nothing about the championships we won in the '60s before the merger. Did nobody care about that? Before the Super Bowl era, the AFC and the NFC champions, they didn't care about that. Super Bowl era only. Okay, those are the rules. So yeah, Cowboys got two in the '70s, but most of the people that are Cowboys fans wasn't even alive back then. So guess what? No, you can't. You ain't claiming them. You ain't claiming them. If you were a Washington fan and you never got a chance to see Doug Williams play, I want to hear from you. And I got love for Doug Williams. That's why I don't hate Washington. I got love for Doug Williams. Doug Williams was my coach in the World League. In '95, he was my coach in the World League. So I got love for Doug. And I remember he told that story. He was like, man, they did him dirty too. Cut him for damn Jeff Rutledge after he was a Super Bowl MVP. Like, whoa, that's scandalous. That's scandalous. Let me see something real quick. What's up, Vito? I'm a Lions fan, first time listener. I think tomorrow the Lions make a big move in order to gun for the Super Bowl. Don't know how or who they deal, but I have a feeling they are making a move. Thoughts? Yeah, the Lions, man. This might be the this might be the last year for the Lions. The window might be closing. It's still open, but you got to get Hutchinson healthy. You got to get what's the didn't y'all get the young ain't y'all got a young safety that got hurt? Y'all, I mean, y'all had the defense, y'all just can't stay healthy. And then, you stepped on your own foot in the playoffs. I don't know how y'all lost that game to Dan Washington. That didn't make sense to me. Y'all was clearly the better team. That Rook came in there and did damage. Listen, Vito, you got to go and check out. Hold on for a second. Check out. I want you to check out, and I'm saying this because he is He's from Michigan. He's a Detroit Lions fan. Right here. Check out my draft analysis with Ian Cummings. Ian Cummings is from the Detroit area. He is a Lions fan. So when me and him were talking about the mock draft, he's actually, if anybody, and I've said this before, if you use the Pro Football Sports Network mock draft analyzer, like the sim, he's the guy that puts that together. He's the guy that feeds the data into this system right here. So like he knows his stuff. He definitely knows his stuff. So definitely check out my conversation with Ian Cummings. When we talk, the draft analysis and we go over everything in the draft. We talk about everybody, dude. But he goes on for about 10 minutes about what he's looking for the Lions. So you definitely want to check that out, bro. And I'm going to have Ian back on again after the draft because I know this week he's getting swamped with stuff. He's getting swamped with stuff. Plus, he's still updating the website and all that type of stuff. So, but I appreciate you, Vito. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Easy going to the Lions. Lions going for edge. Eagles. Everybody going for edge. Edge is, it is a lot of great elite level edges in the draft this year. So, you got plenty of them out there. Pierce, Scarton. It's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. What do you think the Eagles going to do with all the 5th round picks? Do you think they can move up if they get rid of 2? See, this is what I think Howard's going to do. If anything, he might try to move up to get Walter Nolan. I don't think he's going to move up. I already said this before. I predict that Howie is going to trade out. He's going to give up that 32, and he's going to recoup a crap ton of picks, maybe even a 2nd or 1st round for next year. Because we don't need playmakers. We need depth. We got playmakers. We need depth. Yes, we need some good draft picks at certain positions. We do need some, but again, we got Ojomo. We need Walter Nolan is the best D tackle on the board. If he falls to us, absolutely take him because we need somebody to help out Jalen Carter. The mission is you get somebody that offenses have to take account for. They already have to game plan Jalen Carter. Whenever anybody that plays us, the offensive line has to game plan Jalen Carter, which means that's why Josh Sweat was eaten. That's why Milt Williams was eaten. You can't guard everybody. You got to. Jalen Carter demands a double team. Whoever's playing him. So that means somebody else on the line of scrimmage on defense is going to eat. And it was Milt Williams and Josh Sweat. That's how good Jalen Carter is. So we got to bring somebody else in. I think Ojomo is going to be fire next year. But again, we don't necessarily need the playmakers. We need depth. And the way we had those rotations in, if Walter Nolan is as explosive in his rookie year as he was, where was he at? Ole Miss, I think he was. We need somebody to complement Jalen Carter. That is the main focus for the Eagles. The situation with Abdul Carter, I think Abdul Carter is going to end up either with the Browns or the Giants. If we don't get Mason Taylor, I hope we get Ferguson, the guy from Oregon, Terrence Ferguson. Mason Taylor is probably, him and Harold Fannin are probably the best tight ends in the draft. I would go with Harold Fannin. But again, I want Terrence Ferguson because I need, as much as I love Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stoll were not the best blockers. We need somebody that can catch the rock and can block on that line. A tight end is an extension of our offensive line, and we need him to play as such. And we didn't get that a lot last year. Well, I won't say a lot, but There were some breakdowns on the offensive line at the tight end spot last season, and we got to get that fixed. Uh, Trade back. Yeah, I would trade back too. I would trade back too. Plus, I think, and I've said this before, I think Howie is setting everything up for next year because next year we got to sign Jalen Carter. Everything to me, everything is gearing going in that direction. We got to get some things in place because when Jalen Carter's contract is up and we renew his contract in year 3 because he's that good, go look at what Max Crosby got. Go look at what Milt Williams got. Is Jalen Carter better than Milt Williams? Yeah, yeah. If is Milt Williams, does Milt Williams have the same type of year if Jalen Carter didn't do what he did? I don't know. I don't know. And I just said it. I think Milt Williams and Josh Sweat ate well because of Jalen Carter. So we got to bring that same type of production back to the defensive line. Definitely we could draft corner or edge first. I would get a safety rather than a corner, but in my drafts, all of my drafts, I go edge. If Walter Nolan is available, I get the D tackle. If he's not, I go edge. That's how I look at it. So it's either D tackle, edge, or edge, D tackle. That third pick, I go tight end. And a couple of those picks, a couple of those mock drafts, I ended up getting Terrence Ferguson with our third pick. And then I go back to interior offensive line so we can get a guard. Well, let's look. Let's look at what I just did. Walter Nolan. Yeah, we did this. Got the edge from Ohio State. Harold Fannin was available. I'm not crazy about Harold Fannin because, like I said, Harold Fannin is great as a receiver. He is fabulous. Uh-oh. Moving around here. Hold on. There we go. Move me over here. Harold Fannin is a playmaker. But what I'm looking at is would we use him like he was used in Bowling Green? Probably not. Probably not. Unless they want to surprise everybody and we start running tight end screens and stuff like that again. That would be phenomenal. I would love to see that. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Malachi Moore was available. With our was that our fourth pick, fifth pick? No, we way down the line. That was what 1, 2, 3, 4. Our fifth pick. Malachi Moore was available. So we get our safety. Do I think that's gonna happen in real time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is where some of these drafts get kind of crazy. But you never know. All it takes is one team to upset the apple cart and all of the dominoes tumble. Now everybody's trying to trade to get up because the guy that you thought was going to be there might not be there because this team took this guy or didn't take a guy. So it really changes up. It's really going to come down to what Cleveland does and what the Giants do. The 2 and 3 is going to be the key. 2 and 3. So let's do another one. All right. So I love looking at the trades now. I used to ignore the trades. Now I like to look at them because to see what people are thinking. So look, would you take this trade from the Raiders? We picked 32 and we drop 5 spots to 37. And we move up from 96 to 68. So that means we would have picked 62 and 68. So would you do that deal? Mike, I'm with you, bro. I would probably take that. I would probably take that. Now look at Dallas. 44, 217 in the second round next year. That's a good deal. Pick 83 and a first round pick in 2026. So you trading. So that gives us a third and a first round pick next year. Now you got to think next year when we'll be in the same situation. Who's going to be looking to move up? Well, you'd have to see where Pittsburgh is picking, but still, you got a first round pick next year. That's crazy. Because Philly, the draft picks give you capital, dude. The draft picks, you can trade 3 draft picks because you're not going to use all of the picks. So you got to trade them. But you can move your way. This is how people get into the first round. This is how Howie Roseman can get into the first round. What happens if we only make 3 picks? But we get a first rounder and 2/3, or you see what I'm saying? So the pick of the athletes is obviously is going to be better the higher rounds, right? Every now and then you're going to get somebody that slips through the crack. You're going to get a Mr. Irrelevant that's going to make a team in a Brock Purdy situation or Jalix Hunt situation. So you always going to have those guys in there. But when you have that type of draft capital and where you can say, hey, I'm trying to get back in the first round, or I'm trying to get another first rounder or early second rounder, I can give you a 3 and 2 4s because you just got so many picks you're trying to get rid of them. But if it'll get you up into the first round or early second round and you know you're going to get the guy that you want, it's worth doing it. And that's where all of those picks come into play. I'm going to go back and take that first deal. I'm going to take the Raiders deal. Although I think the best deal in this is probably Dallas or Pittsburgh. Both of them are great deals. A second round, 2 picks in the second round, and then pick 83 and a first round next year. That first round pick is killer. So Pittsburgh is trying to move. Because hold on, let me see. Did somebody pick up Shador? I might play this out with Pittsburgh just to see what they do. Shamar. Okay, Shador Sanders is with Seattle. James Pierce got scooped up. The last draft I did, James Pierce fell to us at 32. Jahad Campbell, Malachi Starks. I did another draft. Malachi Starks fell to us at 32. So, I mean, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Walters, so we missed on Walter Nolan. Jaguars got Walter Nolan. So if I did go D tackle, if I go edge, Iziriaku is available. So I could see that. Him or Landon Jackson. I like both of them. D tackle, Kenneth Grant from Michigan. That's a good get. But I think in this situation, I would go edge. I would go Donovan. So I don't know. But I think what I'm going to do is propose trade ranking. If I clicked out of the trades, I can't get them back. Oh, that's propose a trade. Okay. Also, if you click out of it, you can't bring it back. Oh, here you go. Trade offers. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Las Vegas's pick. Okay, so I took Las Vegas's pick, and so now we got the guy from South Carolina who's a standout D tackle, TJ Sanders, or you still got your edge, Landon Jackson from Arkansas, JT from Ohio State, Prince Aman Milan, whatever his last name, Princely. He's from Ole Miss. So that first three edges that are available are still great picks. The D tackle is still a great pick. Shamar Turner's still down there. So I know we were looking at Shamar Turner. So you know what? I'm gonna go. Let me see. I like Turner or Landon Jackson. So Turner or Landon Jackson. What do you think? TJ Sanders or Jackson? I'm thinking let's go to tackle. And then we come back at 64. The New York Giants want to give us two picks, want to give us a pick, and we drop one slot. We drop one slot. Who's up at edge? That kid from Louisville. That kid from Louisville's pretty good edge. So tell you what, I'm gonna get another pick. So I'm gonna take New York's. They took the quarterback. They wanted to jump up for the quarterback. They got him. I'm gonna take the edge from Louisville. That's a good get. 68, 85. Nope. I don't want none of them. So we're up again. See, that's why 64 and 68, that's what comes into play. So now I'm looking at tight end. Jackson, tight end. Bam. Harold Fannin Jr., my guy. Terrence Ferguson, that's what I want. So, of course, I'm drafting my guy. See, this was a good draft right here. Oh, dude. Man, I have no clue who's going to be that good. I have no idea. No idea. Put me up top so I don't block everybody. I'm going to have to get a graphic where I'm like in a circle or something. Indeed. Indeed, Mike. Malachi Moore. RJ Mickens, 6', 199. Malachi Moore, 5'11. I'm big on size, so I'm gonna take RJ Mickens. 8'5'9", 6'11. Yeah, I'm gonna take RJ Mickens. Fifth-year senior, veteran leader, punt return. Did he punt return? Oh no, putting up 75 tackles, 6 tackles for losses, 2 INTs, 7 pass breakups. He also draft him yet. 6 foot, 32 arms. Okay. 4'9". He's fast. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I like this pick. I like that pick. Now we at 154. Malachi Moore still on the board, but we got a safety. Let's go offensive line. Let's get a guard. Kansas Joshua Gray from Oregon State, but I'm gonna get the guy from LSU. Bam, sitting there waiting on us. Now we at 161. Now we at 161. Who do we get another tackle, or can we wait on that? Do we get a linebacker? Jack Kaiser, guy from Notre Dame. That's what I'm thinking, Mike. Get a linebacker. I'm gonna get the kid from California. 6'2", 233, 4.6 speed. Yeah, I'll take that. Now again, we back on the clock at 164. Now let's look at offensive tackle. Jalen Rivers from Miami. We'll take that. 165. Now who do we need? You want to get a returner? You want to get a speed burner? Explosive wide receiver, game breaking speed. Okay, we'll get a returner. And we at 168. We got pretty much everything we need right now. I don't want to get a running back. We got plenty of running backs. We'll sign a couple undrafted free agents. I'm not going to draft a running back. Jaden Blue, I don't see him. Simeon Barrow is still available. Jared Ivey, Jack Nelson, Elijah Ponder. So you still got a lot of Jaden Blue. Yes, the running back from Texas. He is available. Yeah, he's a little small for me. So we got we got everybody we need. I'm trying to think of special team, kicker, punter, defense. My picks. What we got? Sanders, Ashton Gillot, or is it Gillot? Terrence Ferguson, RJ Mickens, Garrett Dillinger, Teddy Buchanan, Jalen Rivers, Isaiah Bond. I did not get a corner. I did not. Yes, we need a corner. $5.11. Got one now. So this was some good picks, man. That's a good draft right there. Now, if we run this back, it's going to be totally different. Totally different. So you never know what's going to happen, man. And the funnest part is tomorrow, you're going to have all of these people in the media, all these media heads on television shows and all that stuff. All of them going to be looking stupid. Because they're going to be like, oh, I didn't see that happening. So all of this stuff will be over tomorrow. And it's funny. When me and Tone are doing our live watch, I am going to do a mock draft just to see, even after the die is cast, even waiting up to like the last possible minute to do your final mock draft right before the draft is supposed to start, to see are they going to make any changes or anything like that. It's just crazy. So, but all right, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. That was fun, man. That was fun. A lot of stuff going on. Man. Lots of stuff. So it'll be on and popping tomorrow. So me and Tone are going to get started at 7:30 p.m. So just join me, Pro Fan Talk. Bring your friends. Yeah, and we're going to keep it moving. This will be fun. Tomorrow is the first day of the NFL season. I consider the draft the first day of the NFL season. I don't wait till training camp. Starts with the draft. Then immediately people coming in for rookie camp and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be on and popping. I'm excited for it. Can't wait. So Cody took the words out of my mouth, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Listen, next time, bring some friends. Vito, I appreciate you coming on the team squad. I appreciate you, bro. Philly MM, Sean, Michael Dujan, Nina, Tiffany, everybody, man. Alex, everybody that was in the chat. Dr. Shack. Y'all was bringing that heat, man. Again, Vito, man, I appreciate you jumping in and finding me, man. Don't be a stranger. Hit that subscribe button and join my team, man. Love to have you, and I appreciate you, bro. So, hope to see all y'all tomorrow night, starting at 7:30. And let's see if we can get this over 100 tomorrow consistently. That's what I'm talking about. So, grind and grow, fellas. Grind and grow. I'm gonna get up out of here. Run y'all last couple of mock drafts because tomorrow is the day. No more wondering. We get in, get our hands dirty, and we're going to see what's what. So, see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be safe. God loves you. I love you. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace. Go Birds.